Dr. Wilson said, if dependency is rewarded, behavior shifts towards dependency. So our politics are dependent, being dependent of someone else. Our politics are not toward ownership, being independent. That is what Dr. Amos Wilson was talking about in Blueprint for Black Power.
This is the Publisher's Desk with Damon K. Jones, brought to you by Black Westchester Magazine.
Peace and blessings, everybody. This is Damon K. Jones here, publisher of Black Westchester Magazine, powered by blackwestchester.com. And thank you for joining tonight. We're doing a special every Monday, Black History Month, Black Power. And tonight we're talking about a thinker whose work explains something many people feel, but rarely understand clearly. Dr. Amos Wilson wasn't just a psychologist. He was a systems analyst of power. Across his wonderful books, Black on Black Violence, Awakening the Natural Genius of Black Children, and The Development of Psychology of the Black Child, he examined behavior, education, identity, and why communities often act against their own long-term interests without realizing it. He didn't look only at racism. He looked at conditioning. He looked at incentives, and he looked at structure. But tonight, we're focusing on the book where he stops diagnosing the problem and he starts prescribing the solution, the blueprint to Black Power. Because in this work, Wilson argues something uncomfortable. Progress doesn't come from awareness alone. A people can be informed. A people can be passionate. A people can be even politically active, but still remain powerless. Why? Because behavior follows power, not slogans. And until institutions exist that reward productive behavior, communities like ours will keep repeating the same cycles while expecting different outcomes. So tonight, we're not discussing motivation. We're discussing structure. Now, every election, brothers and sisters, the same pattern appears in the Black community. We mobilize, we march, we trend online, right? We celebrate representation. And very little changes. Not because people don't care, not because people aren't engaged, but because engagement is not leverage. Wilson explained that groups who control economics influence politics. Groups who depend on politics without economics become permanent petitioners. So instead of negotiating, they request. Instead of bargaining, they appeal. Instead of exchanging support for policy, they offer loyalty and advantage. And once loyalty is given without conditions, it has no market value. You cannot negotiate, brothers and sisters, with what you are willing to give away. Wilson pointed something out deeper than spending habits when we're talking about consuming versus producing. Consumption can be psychological comfort. Buying feels like participation. Supporting feels like progress. Representation feels like ownership. But ownership and participation are not the same thing. Ownership controls hiring, contracts, direction. Participation only places Black people inside someone else's structure. A community trained to celebrate access more than control, they will feel included while remaining dependent. So the culture rewards visibility instead of infrastructure. See, we promote influencers more than we promote manufacturers. We celebrate entertainers more than we celebrate institution buildings. We track popularity more than we track production. And when we ask why wealth doesn't accumulate in Black communities, in Black families, because money flows to ownership. It doesn't flow to like and applauses and follows. Now, what was Amos Wilson's blueprint for Black Power? To understand Wilson fully, you have to understand his blueprint for Black Power. This was not a motivational book. It was a manual. He argued that Black Power would never come from emotional unity alone. It had to come from organized institutional control. Control of our schools, control of our business networks, control of our political organization, control of our family structure, control of our economic cooperation. William described something he called coordinated self-interest. Individuals strengthen the group, and the group strengthens the individuals. But when a community acts only as individuals, it competes internally while depending externally. So your talent leaves, your money leaves, your influence leaves out of the Black community, and progress resets every generation. See, he warned that integration without strategy dissolves leverage. Access to systems is not the same of controlling the systems. I'm going to say that again. Access to systems is not the same as controlling the systems. The blueprint was simple, but demanding. Build institutions first. Seek validation later. Power doesn't belong to groups asking for inclusion. Power belongs to groups that can function without permission. See, once the mindset shifts, the economics will follow. And once the economics follows, politics respond. See, we had the nerve to sit here and the slogan sound good, Black Lives Matter, but we was asking other people to make our Black lives matter to them. Instead of looking inward to our community and saying Black lives matter to Black people first. See, that's how we get tricked. Why are we asking them to make our lives matter? And we're not making our lives matter in our communities. Building economic structure and business and cooperation, taking over our schools, making sure that our kids can comprehend and read and do math and get skills. Making sure our community is a safe place to live. See, we were asking them to do that with Black Lives Matter. The slogans sound good, but it didn't give us power. Because with all that marching, all that rallying, our Black communities didn't change. The fact of the matter is our Black communities got worse. Now, brothers and sisters, let's look at Dr. Amos Wilson's understanding of voting versus negotiation. Dr. Amos Wilson never said, don't vote. He never said it was useless. He said voting without leverage is only symbolic. Negotiation requires three things: something to give, something to withhold, and the ability to walk away. If a group votes the same way, regardless the outcome, regardless of policy, regardless of legislation, regardless of results from those policies and legislation, then your vote becomes predictable. See, predictable behavior eliminates bargaining power. Other groups ask, what do we get in return for our votes? And look around. They get contracts. They get policy protections. They get funding priorities. But a conditioned voter like Black people believes moral alignment is enough. So politics becomes identity politics, which is what we have today, instead of a transaction. Black people do not have transactional politics. They vote on identity politics. And when politics becomes an identity, losing policy victories still feel like winning emotionally. We had a Black president, and we celebrated a Black president, and everybody was happy we had a Black president. We couldn't get a bill signed to even study reparations. We couldn't get an executive order to look at reparations and the impact of reparations that it had on Black Americans. We couldn't get that from the first Black president. Kamala Harris ran, and she couldn't even guarantee Black people and Black women who turned out that she would look at reparations. So what did we get for our vote? Black cities throughout the United States. High crime, low family structure, real estate, not owning the real estate within the city. What are we getting for our vote? When white developers can give local Black politicians money to buy up all the land, and little Black developers can't even get a building. See, that's how activity replaces achievement, brothers and sisters. See, he also looked at reaction versus building. Dr. Amos Wilson warned about reactionary politics, living in response to events rather than designing systems. When a tragedy happened, Black folks mobilized. When an injustice happened, Black folks mobilize. When controversy happens, we're ready to argue. But building? See, that requires patience, long-term planning, institutional discipline, delayed gratification, and economic cooperation. See, reaction gives you adrenaline, make you feel like you're part of the fight, but building requires structure. See, the media rewards action. That's what you see all over the media. But if we really want progress as Black Americans, as Black people, we have to reward organizing. See, you can't trend nationally and still own nothing locally. You can't dominate a culture and still lack capital. Our culture is owned. I'm going to say that again. The Black culture, we don't even own the Black culture. We're the majority of the football players, basketball players, but we don't even have a Black league. The music industry, forget it. Forget about it. They're just rich slaves because they have to do what the owners of the record labels and the owners of these companies say. See, cultural influence without economic infrastructure produces slavery. Dr. Amos Wilson also understood that behavior follows power. Now, this leads into Dr. Amos Wilson's central idea. People don't act based on speeches. They act based on incentives. If ownership is rewarded, behavior shifts towards ownership. If dependency is rewarded, behavior shifts towards dependency. Communities don't rise simply because they are inspired. They rise because systems make productive behavior normal. So the real question he was asking wasn't, why won't people change? The real question Dr. Wilson was asking, what structure makes current behavior rational? Because behavior follows power, because power defines incentives. Look at the New York City mayor campaign of Zohan Mandami. What did he promise people? Free stuff. Free stuff. Free this, free that, free this, free that. What did Dr. Wilson said? If dependency is rewarded, behavior shifts towards dependency. So our politics are dependent, being dependent of someone else. Our politics are not toward ownership, being independent. And that's what we see today. That's what we see today in Black communities. In Black politics is dependency, not towards ownership, not towards owning and being responsible for our school systems, not towards being responsible for our public safety, not towards being responsible for making sure young Black men and women graduate high school with skills, not just raising our reading and comprehension, but actually having skills to go out there, not working for somebody, but owning businesses in the community. That is what Dr. Amos Wilson was talking about in Blueprint for Black Power. Now, he wasn't attacking people. As a psychiatrist, he was diagnosing a pattern. See, Black people, we have mistaken emotional unity for economic unity. We have mistaken political presence for political leverage, cultural influence for institutional control. And that's why we're in this condition. See, his message forced a difficult question. And I'm going to ask y'all the same, man. Are we organizing for expression or are we organizing for power? See, because once power exists, our behavior will change automatically. Not through motivation, not through slogans, but through structure. I suggest everybody get the book, Blueprint for Black Power, and read the book. You have to start reading. Our great minds from the past put the solutions in books. They didn't put them on podcasts. They put them in books. And unfortunately, some of these podcasters ain't never read Blueprint for Black Power, don't even understand what's in it. And you know why? Because you see what they're talking about. You see what they're pimping. So I suggest everybody get this book by Dr. Amos Wilson, Blueprint for Black Power. Last week, we talked about the miseducation of the Negro. People need to buy that book. And next week, we're going to talk about Dr. Claude Anderson and his book, Powernomics. These are books every Black family need to have on their bookshelf. Now, I can't play Dr. Amos Wilson's speeches because I'm not sure if I'm going to get tagged. But definitely, I recommend people get the book. The link to the book will be in the description. Please get the book. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment. Do you think Dr. Wilson's analysis of the conditions of Black America and sitting at the table from a position of power instead of begging and looking to get something and using our vote as leverage, does that make sense? Or are we going to continue down the same road with identity politics without any power? So please leave a comment. If you like the video, please share. And thank you again. This is the Publisher's Desk. I'm Black Westchester Magazine's publisher, Damon K. Jones, and this is powered by blackwestchester.com. Please go to the website. We got some great articles there. And thank you for your support. And as always, stay blessed, stay safe, and stay Blacktastic. Peace out.
Tired of the same emotional politics that lead nowhere. Emotional Politics, Logical Failure by Damon K. Jones is the book Black America needs right now. It exposes the lies, challenges the gatekeepers, and calls for real strategy, not just symbolism. Power starts with truth. On sale, now, and available in audiobook on Amazon.
Tolerance is for Cowards by Damon K. Jones. This book is not anti-police, it's pro-community. Discover how the extended policing strategy empowers you to demand real public safety, justice, and accountability from your local police department. Because the Black community deserves good policing. On sale now on Amazon and Audible. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like and share it with others who need to hear the truth. And for exclusive content and behind-the-scenes access, join the Black Westchester Magazine YouTube membership club today. Your support helps us keep independent Black media strong. Support independent Black media with style. Rock Black Westchester merch and represent the news with the Black point of view. Every purchase helps us speak truth to power.
This is the Publisher's Desk with Damon K. Jones, brought to you by Black Westchester Magazine, where life, culture, community, and faith meet truth, power, and purpose.